You also want to determine what stage of growth the niche that you're about to enter is in. This is a little more subjective. There aren't exact ways that are real easy to determine this, but you can get a general idea just by doing all this other research. This is just another point to keep in mind. You want to see, is this niche a fad or is it going to be there long term? If it's something about Britney Spears, it's probably a fad. If it's something about Beanie Babies, it's probably a fad. But if it's a new type of investing, it could be long term. You have to use your judgment. Just kind of think, is this niche a fad or is this something that's here to stay, or is it something that's really established? You want to look at how new the niche is. That goes along with the fad concept. If it's proven to be around for a while, then chances are it'll be around for a lot longer. But just the newness of the niche, you can think about coin collecting and say, well, that's been around a long time. Stock investing has been around a long time. But certain newer things like eBay, it's relatively new in the grand scheme of things, but as far as the internet's concerned, eBay's been around a long time on the internet. So I would say eBay's not a fad. eBay's here to stay, and that's just looking at a bunch of variables there, but that's my opinion that eBay isn't going anywhere, just how popular it is now. So you can look at the newness of it, but also realize that on the internet, 5 years is a long time, or 10 years is even longer on the internet. That's an old thing as it comes to internet. So if it's new, it doesn't mean it's a fad, but you can kind of tell if something's a fad or not. And I would suggest avoiding the fads if you're trying to build a stable business around it. You can also tap into these fads just as a way of making some extra money, but it's not something that you can depend on for a long time if it's a fad type product. So if you want to create an empire and make this your business, I would say go with something that's not going to be a fad, something that's going to stay around for a long time. If you just want to make a little bit of extra money because you see a great opportunity for a new fad that's out, well, you can certainly do that. You also want to look at what phase of market saturation is your niche in. And generally, when things come out, there's usually a period of growth where there's more products being developed, more people being interested, and more websites and trying to capitalize on that market. And then it kind of peaks out, and then people start losing interest, and then there's a decline. Less people are interested. And as you can see, that time on this diagram goes from left to right. Now, sometimes there's just growth, and then there's kind of like a stability period where it seems like it's peaking, and then it can grow even further. And it can do that a few times. There's no way to really to tell. You just kind of have to look at the market and think, has it peaked out yet? Is it starting to decline? You don't really know if there's a decline until you've seen it peak out and then go down a little bit. And again, it could grow, it could peak, it could decline a little bit, and then it could shoot back up. So these are just interesting things to look at. This is based on economics. And since you're going to be starting a business, economics do play a factor here. I don't want to get too nerdy or too technical with this stuff, but it's good to know, what, if you're in a growth market, then you can see, wow, over the next few years, you may not know how long that growth period is going to last, but you know that you're kind of riding a nice wave up. If you see that it's kind of peaked out and kind of stable, there's no exact way to tell what stage it's in, but if you use your judgment, you'll be able to plan your business better. So the growth of the niche is an important subject to think about when you're considering entering a niche, just so that it's balanced with what type of market you want to be in, and also has the best potential for your future when you enter that market and you spend your time trying to dominate that market.